And welcome back to the studio, coming at you live here in the Hub. I am Steve Moulter. I'm joined by my friend David Dela Cruz. How are you this afternoon?
Hey, Steve.
We get to be on set together.
I think it's the first time this week.
I think it's the first time this week. I want to remind you to keep reaching out to us all day tomorrow, the rest of the day today, hashtag CLEUR on all social media. We are paying attention, I promise. Anytime you post, we are going to post right back to you, so keep connecting with us. So David, we just wrapped the last innovation talk of today, Thomas Scheibe. Nish is going to be with Thomas in just a moment. We'll keep an eye on things out front, but his real target is digital transformation, and I just keep believing that digital transformation has got to be one of the most powerhouse themes of the show this week, right?
Yeah, absolutely, Steve. I mean, digital transformation is one of those things I think that's on the tip of every single customer's and partner's tongues. In Germany, where I'm active, there's so many companies that are trying to improve the pace of digitalization because the opportunities for growth are there, the opportunities to improve your processes are there, and at the end of the day, our customers are demanding it, so it's got to be there to go.
And it's integral to the internet of the future as we continue to talk about what that internet service delivery is going to be. Again, with the rollouts of Wi-Fi 6 and 5G, integrating your network, integrating your operations is going to be a huge part of that. And again, digital transformation, I think, is at the core of that. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. I mean, even if you think back 3, 5, or 7 years ago, the pace of change has been incredible. And think about, how you and I used to work 5 years ago. It's completely different. We were just talking about our notes before, actually, right. How that has been digitally transformed as well, from old paper cards to, digital note-taking system that we have now.
Ooh, talk about your transitions. Nicely done, my friend. I'm looking out here into the show hall. It looks like we have got Nish Parker out there with us, hopefully in the innovation talk area and with Thomas. Yes, Nish?
Yes, I'm here, and I am here with Thomas Scheibe. So Thomas is our VP of Product Management here, covering data center, and he's just finished here at the Innovation Talk Theatre. So Thomas, how are you doing?
Good. Thank you for asking.
You're very welcome. So you just talked about NAE, and obviously
Yes.
There's a lot of customer traction, but tell me a little bit more about this topic and what you want people at home to
Absolutely. So NAE is one of these acronyms. It's really the Cisco Network Assurance product. We actually introduced this 2 years ago here in Barcelona. I just had one of our really great customers on stage, which is Bosch. The product is actually deployed with more than 300 customers at this point. Very well adopted, and customers really like what they can get out of this in terms of assurance function around their intent and what is actually configured in the infrastructure. So yeah, product is well received, and clearly a lot of additional development going on.
Got it. And I think you were teasing at the end of your presentation there a little bit to give people an idea of what to expect next. So tell us a bit more about what's up and coming, what's next for us.
Yes, there was a little bit of a tease, but I think maybe before I go to the tease again, what we basically announced this week is the extension of assurance with Insights. And so we call it the Network Assurance and Insights Suite, which is basically bringing out additional capability that will work with the existing fabrics that our customers have to not just look at assurance, but also do better troubleshooting, as well as a more proactive approach to guaranteeing service quality. And so that is actually more than a tease. That is actually product available. But yeah, there is a tease. There's clearly more ideas around how can customers actually consume this? How can they use this? And obviously there's some ideas around, could we make it easy on the cloud? Can I actually pull out my phone and just look it up here? So there's some of those ideas. And yes, clearly, there's probably more to come.
Absolutely. So year after year, Cisco Live, it gets bigger, it gets better. And obviously we've got a data center section here in the World of Solutions.
Yes.
So tell me a bit about the data center presence at the show.
Yeah, if you actually want to see and touch these things, everything that we actually talk about in the innovation session is available to see, to touch literally, the switches, the hardware, including 400 gig. Those are actually there. You can see all the controllers, you can also the monitoring tools. You can get a really beautiful walkthrough and demo, interact with some of the engineers that actually built the products. So I highly recommend it for the people that are actually local. The ones that are online, they're a little bit out of luck, but a lot of these are also available as cloud demos. So I encourage you to take a look.
Definitely. So virtual demos online, but also coming to Cisco Live year after year, actually getting the experience, meeting with the engineers and seeing the technology in person. So you had that, guys. Let's take a look at a few videos around data center. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Intent-based networking has transformed how data center applications are deployed, bridging the gap between business intent and underlying infrastructure. But Day 2 network operations paradigms are still largely reactive. Network failures are often accepted as part of IT operations, costing companies money, time, and even consumer confidence. By providing continuous verification, Network Assurance Engine ensures that the network is doing exactly what it's intended to do.
Cisco IT has been at the forefront of software-defined networking and automation. We have deployed over half of our application portfolio spread across 17,000 endpoints in our ACI environment using automation.
By continuously and proactively modeling the network, the Assurance Engine provides instant visibility into our SDN network and predicts where failures are likely to occur. We can now remediate any issues before they impact our clients, ending our reliance on rudimentary operational tools and low-level troubleshooting techniques.
Rather than relying on custom scripts to identify network faults, Assurance Engine provides us instant validation of the entire network, all the way down to what's actually programmed on the hardware. The appliance itself took just minutes to deploy, and within the first hour, we uncovered numerous network faults previously undetected using standard monitoring tools. We've cut down the time to identify and isolate problems, driving down our overall mean time to restore. Today, the Assurance Engine is the first place we go for problem management to validate that the network is behaving as we expect.
With NAE, we have transformed how we execute network changes. We use NAE to validate all network changes to check if new alerts are generated. This validation goes beyond checking for human errors, assuring us that no stale configurations are left on the network. This drastically reduces the risk of an outage when changes get deployed.
Since NAE deployment, Cisco IT has seen an overall increase in our operations efficiency and productivity. We have reduced our mean time to restore by 2/3. We see 20% shorter change windows, and we're able to remediate bad changes faster. And the predictive model is the only way to evolve and remain competitive. The Cisco Network Assurance Engine is the key component to this new worldview.
Cisco Network Assurance Engine, disruptive innovation that gives you the edge in running network ops.
So we're here again in the World of Solutions in the data center area, and I'm joined by John Ng. Hey John, how are you?
Great, how about yourself?
Yeah, I'm great, thank you. I really enjoyed having a chat just then with Thomas, and we were talking about Bosch. He was talking about the value of NAE, and so I'm really excited to be here to actually see the demo. So what have you got to show us?
Yes, so what I'd like to show you today is the Network Assurance Engine, and this is what Bosch has been using and showing all the values that's been providing to them for the operational modeling. So here I have network assurance. What we have is the ability to detect problems, identifying if you have critical and major and minor errors, so that you can see at a glance what's happening in your network. So with this, you could drill down to specific problems in your network, being able to identify connectivity and understanding how everything is interconnected. Here, using NAE, we could tell you quickly exactly how your network is connected. We are able to identify, ask you using a natural query language, using our NAE Policy Explorer, to ask questions like, can this endpoint talk to anywhere else in your network? And quickly, if you type this, you would be able to get this view that shows that particular IP address belonging to this ACI endpoint group, how the different endpoint groups are able to connect to each other. And then quickly, using this, you could also show at a glance all the different subnets that it could talk to each other in. So giving you a full visibility into connectivity into your ACI fabric.
I love the visuals of it, right? Because it's like you can get a very big picture view, but also granularity.
Yes. Using visual processing, you could quickly see that the green lines here is all the things that's going right about this network. And here, being able to identify exactly this particular line here, that there's some issues with this. Although there's connectivity, you could ask questions like, how are they able to connect it? And then quickly, you could drill down and see that, although these two things are able to connect to each other, but then we are able to see that there are still some connectivity with adjacency issues into your network, and then quickly you could just click on it and see. So this is part of our assurance product. In addition to that, we also have our Network Insight. Our Network Insight gives you the ability to see operational data, what's happening in your network. So at a glance, you could see all the critical issues, all the inventories about your leaf and your spine and your controller. Using a resource capability of Network Insight, we're able to come in here, identify flow anomalies so that you could quickly see if there's packet drops and the reasons for these packet drops. Is it due to lack of buffer issues? Is it lacking some type of policy that somebody forgot to add in? Or if there's actually latency issues. So all these things just come into play, and then you could easily click into it and further analyze your network to see what's going on, to give you full visibility into your network. So you can see, full functionality of your production network about the traffic flow, to show you what the source address is, destination address, the start time, the end time, and giving you exactly the full view of your fabric from the source to the destination, where the potential drop is. Here in this particular case, we can see this scale leaf 209. It's showing some drop as an egress port. Giving you really full visibility into your network.
I think we've got about 10 seconds left, but I just want to quickly ask you before we head back to the studio, what's the big thing that customers have taken away from this?
People are just seeing that Cisco has a solution to help them operate their day 2 operation and give them the visibility they need and the troubleshooting tools they need in their network.
Amazing. Thanks for that great summary. Back to you in the studio, David.
Thank you for that, Nish. Looking good out there, and that brings us to the end of the DCN part of our show, unfortunately. If you are interested in learning more, please visit cisco.com/go/sales. Now we're heading to our final innovation talk of the day. Alistair Wildman, Head of Customer Experience for EMEA.